Hi everyone, Dominic Nicoli here, and I want to give you an end of the year real estate update. And I obviously don't have to say this, but 2020 has been by far the craziest year we have ever seen, both in the whole entire world and for sure in California and the Bay Area. I mean, with COVID, the wildfires, all the turmoil surrounding the presidential election, the Bay Area real estate market, it had to have been destroyed, right? Well, as we know, it's actually been quite the contrary. In fact, I want to share with you some of the data. So when COVID first hit back in March, we saw inventory and sales, fall off sharply as the shockwave of all the fear and uncertainty, permeated our real estate market. But then we saw kind of an interesting shift start to happen. In fact, in May, which was boosted by incredibly low interest rates, we saw home sales actually start to increase. A month later in June, we saw the trend continue, and we actually ended up, believe it or not, with more sales occurring in the months from June through November than we had in 2019. So the market actually improved. And the big question is, how in the heck did this happen? We're in the middle of a global pandemic, out of control wildfires, crazy presidential election, and we see the housing market improved? Well, here's what I believe are a few of the reasons why all that happened. First, as we already mentioned, we had some of the lowest interest rates we've ever seen, ever. Meaning, in many cases, it's actually cheaper and easier to own than it is to rent. Number two, people are spending more and more time at home than ever before. And in my personal opinion, I don't think there's ever been a time where your personal home has more importance than it does today. Last but not least, I think people want their privacy. They want social distance, and they want control over where they live and their living situation. And so that's contributed to this trend of improving housing market. So what are we going to expect moving forward? Well, as always, it's always unclear as to what's going to happen, and I'm not about to sit here and predict the future. The good news is we know the Silicon Valley economy remains super strong, and it's for sure the backbone of our housing market. That said, there could be some changes on the horizon. I'll give you a couple examples. Number one, there are numerous proposed tax increases on the table, which will continue to make it more difficult for people to live in California and specifically the Bay Area. And we know California already has the highest tax rates in the nation. And there's a real chance they could be going up even more. So I expect we'll see the trend continuing, which has already started, that many of the longtime residents are going to continue to leave the Bay Area and move to states where they can enjoy a lower cost of living and for sure lower tax rates. In fact, on top of that, it already looks like Prop 19 is passing, which is going to have an immediate impact on property taxes. So stay tuned. I'll be doing another video in the next week or two that addresses Prop 19. So secondly, many high-tech workers are now working remotely and have the flexibility to work outside the Bay Area. The big question is whether this is just a short-term trend or if this is going to be permanent. If it stays permanent, for sure, many workers are going to opt to live outside the Bay Area, lessening demand for housing here locally. Last, certainly not least, we don't expect these super low interest rates to hang around forever. Sometime we're going to see the rates start going back up, and it's going to be interesting to see the impact that has on the housing market. So my promise to you, I'm going to stay informed. I'll stay on top of the current trends, and I will continue to share data with you as we get it and as this market continues to evolve. Last but not least here, I want to take this time to wish you and your families a very, very happy and most importantly, healthy holiday season. And I look forward to talking to you again in the new year. God bless you, your families, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much.